Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The Hurricane Watch team is here with your latest update on the tropics. Today we are going to be talking about, yes, that's right, we now have Tropical Storm Kevin right here, I should say, here in the East Pacific. Just got upgraded from Tropical Depression 11E at about 3:45 p.m. Central Time. Right now, there it is. You can see lots of convection right in this region. Another convective burst right there, as you can see, producing a lot of heavy rain. But continuing to move away from the coast of Mexico, it is expected to become an 80 to an 85 mile per hour hurricane, according to the National Hurricane Center. Here it is. You can see lots of heavy rain in this area. There's that convective burst right out here. Still some heavy rain being produced off near the coast of west coast of Mexico. So heavy rain continuing to be produced, but this system is expected to intensify to an 85 mile an hour hurricane. I wouldn't be surprised if this reaches in between 90 and 100 miles an hour, but we will certainly see what we will have to watch out for in the future. Again, I'll be doing another worldwide tropics update at 7 p.m. And then again, I'll be mainly talking about this system. I'll be talking about other systems. I'll be mainly focused on this system. But then again, we'll be doing another update at 7 p.m. and then again at 10 p.m. And I might even try to do one at 4 a.m. And then again, then I'll have to do one at 6 a.m. There's a lot that needs to be talked about right now. So right now, this is what we got right here in the right off the coast of Mexico. Lots of heavy rain right now. Winds about 40 miles per hour. Let me actually bring up the latest update from the National Hurricane Center. At 4 p.m., yet another tropical storm forms over the eastern Pacific. Currently, it's at 15.8 degrees north, 106.8 degrees west, about 275 miles, or about 445 kilometers southwest of Manzanillo, Mexico. About 530 miles, or 855 kilometers southeast of the southern tip of the Baja California Peninsula. Currently, it's got winds of about 40 miles an hour, or about 65 kilometers per hour. Present movement is west of 270 degrees at 10 miles per hour, 17 kilometers an hour. Minimum central pressure is 1,005 millibars, about 29.68 inches. So that is currently the latest statistics, the latest update here from the National Hurricane Center. So yeah, a lot of convection in this system. We're going to be watching this system as it continues to move west now. This will not be affecting land at all, so we don't have to worry about extremely heavy, flooding. But still, as you can still see right here along the coast of Mexico, we do still get some rapid fire upbursts of tropical moisture and energy over that area, probably causing some moderate to heavy rain and possibly even some flash flooding, depending on how long that heavy rain lasts in that region. So that's what we got right now. That's the latest update from the National Hurricane Center. Very well developed, very high cloud top. So that's something I'm really looking at right now. If I go to visible high resolution, look at this system. It is incredible. You've got energy with this storm. This thing is starting to rotate, and this storm is just really starting to get itself moving on now. So this is what we're looking at right now. There's a system, lots of convection. You can see that convective burst right there on the last frame. So here it is. Here's Kevin right here. Again, winds 40 miles an hour, 1,005 millibars, 15.8 degrees north, 106.8 degrees west, moving west at 9 knots or 10 miles per hour. So again, it's supposed to become a tropical storm. It's a tropical storm. Then it's going to intensify to a hurricane early Monday morning. It's going to remain a hurricane, and then by beginning of Wednesday, then it's going to begin to weaken and begin to dissipate there. So let's see what we got here. Forecast advisory, really not a lot to talk about. Well, actually, I could just go to, I think it's a discussion, and scroll down to the bottom of the discussion. There it is. They're peaking in at 85 miles per hour with this system. This system is expected to continue to intensify as it is over very, very warm waters. So this is the Joint Typhoon Warning Center, and those are the storms. So we're not really going to talk about them right now. Mainly, we're going to be talking about this system today because this is the biggest system. Well, it's the 4 p.m. advisory from the National Hurricane Center. Then I'll be doing a 7 p.m. talking about all the storms, and then a 10 p.m. advisory on this system right here. Oh yeah, no, satellite, that's right. I just want to show you how much the storm has actually intensified in just the last 12 hours. Just look at how much the storm has intensified. Right here, here's the storm right here, right in that region. This is where Tropical Depression 11E is at. But again, quickly begins to intensify into Tropical Storm Kevin as the storm continues to intensify and goes in through intensification. look at that. Yeah, you could really. I'm sorry, like kind of jumped ahead, but there. Look at that. Lots of convection in this system. We're getting banding come through here, banding through here. Really starting to see these signs of tropical characteristics form with Tropical Storm Kevin. Going from an Invis to Tropical Depression 11E, now into Tropical Storm Kevin right now, winds of 40 miles an hour. So these storms intensify very, very quickly, very rapidly. These storms can just intensify just like, crazy. It's insane how fast these storms can intensify. And we're going to continue to see these storms intensify. Storms are going to continue to intensify, but again, it's like B-15 to land. So this little update will only be about half an hour. So again, that's what this storm is going to be doing. It's actually over here. That's what this storm right here is going to be doing. It's going to continue to intensify. Maybe some convective bursts near the coast of Mexico, but generally this storm is going to be moving this way and off to the northwest. So this storm is going to be something we're going to have to watch out for. And this storm is going to produce a lot of heavy rain in areas of the farthest west parts of Mexico could see. So something we're going to have to watch out for and closely monitor as the storm continues to track to the west. Not a whole lot to talk about, but 40 miles an hour is what we are looking at right now. If I pull up Zoom Earth, what do we got here? Not much going on in the chats. I still don't know why they're showing these as existing. When Hilda, I can't even tell where Hilda is, but apparently it's in this area. They don't actually exist, so just don't worry about that. Then obviously we have these systems over here in the Caribbean over here. Yeah, I know it went this way, now it went up, now it's still going this way. It's trying to still develop, and it's only got a 30% chance of development. This right here has a 20% chance, but it's going to move this direction. And there's actually another system right in this area. So really just kind of want to, really show you what we're looking at here with Tropical Storm Kevin right there. A lot of convection, a lot of heavy rain in the system. So, really any ships that go in this area need to go around the storm because there's, again, 40 mile an hour sustained winds, gusts 45 to 50 miles per hour. The waves are pretty choppy right now. Very, very dangerous in terms of for ships moving in that region. So, again, very, very heavy rain. Not safe for where ships are going to be going. So ships would need to come. If they're coming towards, they need to go around and go through here. I'm not directing any ships. That's not my job. But there's that system right there. Kevin producing 40 mile an hour sustained winds. And again, Kevin is expected to intensify to an 85 to a 90 mile an hour hurricane. Still a Category 1. Category 2 hurricane is with winds of 95 miles an hour to 110 miles an hour. Category 3 is 111 miles an hour to 129 miles an hour. And Category 4 hurricanes 130 miles an hour all the way up to 156 miles an hour. Category 5 is 157 miles an hour and stronger. So this is what we're looking at with this system right now. Just incredibly powerful system right there. Very, very strong in terms of rain. It's a big rainmaker. Alright, it's a big, huge rainmaker for sure. And it's going to produce, this band right here just really still trying to push north right here. Again, you do see some storms far up there off the coast of Mexico, which do produce quite a lot of heavy rain. That's sort of what I'm worried about. We get these little bursts of convection happening over land, and that is what can produce a lot of heavy rain. It can produce, and it can cause flooding for sure. Flooded roadways, low-lying areas can get flooded very easily. That's what we're looking at right now and watching for. Low-lying areas can get flooded. Bayous can fill up very, very quickly. You have creeks, rivers, bayous, low-lying areas that can fill up very quickly. And areas that are already saturated can flood incredibly quickly and very easily. So, again, this storm, we're going to be watching it. It's going to move to the west. I know the west is actually that way. and I went that way. Anyway, it's moving in that direction toward the west, and it's going to continue to intensify, and the storm's going to move farther away from land, so it's going to allow this storm to intensify even more. But again, right now another threat are going to be swells. There's an island roughly right here, right in that region. So right now, what we're worried about right now is we also have to deal with swells, big waves, choppy waters. It's also a big problem. So if I go back to Tropical Storm Kevin, I'll go to graphics here. We got that little, it's just right there. And then there's another bit of land right there. Very, very small landmass. I can't actually see the land. There should be, it's an overlay, but I can't see it. It's so tiny. So it's going to continue to remain a tropical storm, but once we get into early next week, it is going to, should become a hurricane by that point, maybe even sooner or early. Oh, there's the land right there and right there. So this island and this island would get some pretty intense winds. Well, not super intense, but certainly something that we need to watch out for and have a close eye on as the storm continues to intensify and make its way to the west. So this storm isn't going to be this stream isn't going to be super long. I'm probably going to end it here in the next 10 or so minutes because I just want to make a quick update on Tropical Storm Kelvin and sort of go over the forecast models also. So the last one I'm going to do right now is I'm going to be looking at the forecast models of Tropical Storm Kelvin, or at least the East Pacific, I should say. So we have, is this going to work? So we have an idea of what we're going to be looking at and what we're having to deal with as the storm continues to move west. See, now the storm behind it is the one that's going to be a lot more intense, as you can see there. And then another storm, and then we have supposedly, possibly, that storm in the Gulf of Mexico. This is way too far out. We're not going to actually make predictions on that yet once again. So we have this one, and then we have that one, and then we have this one, which is this one's pretty strong. But again, my next update will be at 7 p.m. Central Time. But again, the Gulf of the GFS is also showing that this other system is also expected to develop, and so that's something that I'm gonna have to that we're gonna be watching out for. Again, do not worry about that storm in the Gulf. Do not worry about it. It is too far in the future for anyone to say yes or no to. Could it happen? Maybe. Could it not happen? Maybe. We don't know. The chances of it not happening are overweigh the chances of it happening, because usually any systems that we see like 300 hours out or more don't ever develop. Or if they do develop, it's either, it's just something that we can't actually predict at this moment. But you have this system right here, you have this system right here, and the one in the middle, if I go back to the National Hurricane Center, the one in the middle, alright, this one right here, is the one that develops. That could become the next hurricane, possibly the next hurricane. Now, we gotta watch the system. There's a chance that the one in the middle could develop. GFS is showing it moves westward and kind of goes over like this. So that's something that we're going to have to watch out for, because again, not only will be the Caribbean, but also the Bahamas and parts of the southeast coast could possibly be affected, again, if this develops into a storm in the first place. So something we're going to have to watch out for and keep a close eye on as we continue to see these storms try to develop off the coast of Africa. Let's see what we got here. So again, lots of energy in the Gulf of Mexico. Those are some systems that we're going to be closely monitoring as they move towards the west. And certainly something we're going to be watching out for very, very, closely. But mainly going to be talking about Tropical Storm Kevin today, as it is certainly another storm to carefully, that will need to closely monitor as it continues, again, continuing to move to the west. So that's certainly still something very, very, by the time it makes, this, according to the GFS, the storm just kind of, roughly, yeah, it's about 96 to about 100 hours out is when it's going to just kind of blow up in energy. And again, where does that go over? It goes right over Puerto Rico, which in September of 2017, Puerto Rico got hit by a major Category 4 hurricane, and her name was Maria. But again, 995 would produce a lot of heavy rain, and certainly producing a lot of flooding too. So that could become either a 70 to an 80 mile an hour tropical storm or hurricane, depending on which one it is. And then the Bahamas are affected, and so is the Dominican Republic. There definitely get some swells and probably even some storm surge here in this area. Now again, this is just as this develops. I don't want to go anything out beyond 180 hours. So right now, what we do believe it's going to happen is this is going to impact the Caribbean. The Eastern Caribbean is going to be affected. We're talking about Bahamas. I'm just going to sort of like highlight where we think, like, roughly this region of the Caribbean is going to be affected. That's what we think right now. But this could move to the north and go kind of, and just skirt, almost kind of like what, actually, it could go like this. It really all depends on what the high pressure is. Here's the high pressure up here. According to the GFS, high pressure being at around 1,025 millibars by this point. Now, if it strengthens and comes farther south, it can push it south or push it farther west. It really just depends on how high the high pressure is going to be. If it's super duper high, it's going to stay far to the south and move farther to the west. If it weakens, or if it's weak in the first place, it's going to be farther to the north and not move as far west. Stay farther to the north and keep itself to the east. If something like this, then we could have potentially a 60, 70 mile an hour tropical storm make landfall there in Puerto Rico. That's something I'm really, really kind of worried about, because these storms can, in fact, be very unpredictable and hard to predict if, the high pressure isn't. If the high pressure is not, exactly where we think it's going to be. So, yeah, there's that. So, there's that tropical storm there. Tropical storm Kevin there in the East Pacific. Probably going to wrap this up here. This is your latest update on Tropical Storm Kevin. We're going to be watching the Atlantic, the North Atlantic. We're going to be watching the Caribbean, and watching what that system does that's in between 92L and that other disturbance on the left. The one right in the middle is the one we're going to be monitoring the closest. We also really picked up on that. Something coming out of it could be intense or possibly even severe. We're closely monitoring that. We're also be monitoring Kevin, but it's going to be going out to sea. It's going to be going out to sea, so we don't have anything to worry about in terms of the development of that. Not the development, but just the impacts it's going to have. Yes, there are some islands that are going to get some tropical storm force winds that are going to be affecting that area. So the next update, we're going to be doing a tropical update across the entire world. And then at 10 p.m. we'll be doing another update on Tropical Storm Kevin. With all that being said, have a wonderful rest of your afternoon. And I'll talk to you guys. Later this evening. Peace out.